My name is Mary. I'm 32. And tonight, at my sister's engagement party, she introduced me to everyone as her little sister, the one who answers phones at a courthouse. She said it proudly, smiling, right in front of her fiancé. But what Hannah didn't know was that I'd seen Nathan before. Not at a family dinner, not at a bar, but in my courtroom because I'm not a secretary, I'm not an admin assistant. I'm the youngest judge to be appointed in our district in the last 50 years. Still to my family, I've always been Abby, the easy one, the quiet one, the one they never fully noticed. Tonight, Hannah put on her usual performance, flaunting her ring, bragging about Nathan's career and tossing light jabs at mine. She works at the courthouse, she laughed. She probably files Nathan's paperwork. Nathan kept sneaking glances at me throughout the night, confused, like he was trying to place where he'd seen me before. Then came that one question, the one I'd waited years to be asked. So, what exactly do you do at the courthouse, Abby? I looked him straight in the eye and said just one word, judge. The entire table went still. Hannah's smile faltered. And the man she was about to marry realized he had stood in my courtroom, not just once. But before I tell you what came next, let me ask, have you ever been dismissed by your own family? Have you stayed quiet just to avoid the conflict? Leave a comment and subscribe if you've ever downplayed your success, just to protect someone else's ego. After Thanksgiving, the lie lingered like a thick fog. No one asked for details. No one seemed to care. At family events, I became the sister who works at the courthouse, which somehow translated into the one who answers phones and files papers. Still doing admin work, Abby? Uncle? Frank would ask with a patronizing smile, like he thought he was being encouraging. I'd nod, still at the courthouse. The lie rolled off my tongue like a second language. What they didn't know was I'd already moved from a clerkship to the DA's office. 5 years, nearly 100 cases. My conviction rate, one of the highest in our district. I wasn't making coffee. I was building a reputation fair, thorough, relentless in court, but I never brought that up at Sunday dinners. I learned that hard way people don't listen when they've already decided who you are. Then came the call from Judge Thompson. Abigail, he said, I'm retiring, and I've recommended you to replace me. My breath caught. Me? I asked. There's no one more qualified, he replied. 3 weeks later, I was sworn in as the youngest judge the district had seen in over 5 decades. It made the legal journals. Lawyers I'd looked up to sent handwritten congratulations. Only one family member came, my cousin Jessica. She'd always known the truth. After the ceremony, she hugged me. So, are you finally going to tell them? She asked. I smiled. What would be the point? 2 years passed. 2 years of fulfilling, difficult courtroom work. And 2 years of silence from the people I still somehow wanted approval from. At home, Hannah's stories only got louder. She's leading a $3 million campaign for a Fortune 500 company. Mom would beam. Dad would top off her wine and me. Abby's still at the courthouse, someone would mutter. Like I was stuck in a never-ending internship. I'd bring a good bottle of wine, help clean up, and slip out quietly. It was easier that way. Easier than seeing my mother's eyes glaze over every time I said the word judge. I told myself it didn't matter, that I didn't need their validation, that each time Hannah launched into another story about her latest triumph, something inside me clenched, because I wasn't just being overlooked, I was being erased. And deep down, I wondered, what if they ever really saw me? Hannah's engagement party was exactly what I expected. Pinterest perfect, over the top, all about her. The house was glowing with string lights and white flowers. A massive congratulations banner stretched above the backyard entrance, I arrived early, more out of duty than excitement, and was immediately assigned a task. Abby, can you set up the drink station? Mom asked without even glancing. Up. Hannah wants it just right for when Nathan's parents arrive. Even on her big day, Hannah had to control every little detail, and everyone let her dot by 6 p.m. A sleek black BMW pulled into the driveway. Hannah stepped out first, radiant. In a designer dress, her diamond ring sparkled as she waved. Nathan followed, handsome, polished, charming, and unknowingly about to be blindsided Dot. They worked the crowd like royalty. Hannah made sure everyone knew Nathan was the youngest partner at his law firm. How he just won a multi-million-dollar case. She was basking in the attention. He looked slightly overwhelmed. Jessica, my cousin, the only one who knew, leaned over. He doesn't recognize you, does he? She whispered. No, I replied, sipping my champagne. Not yet. Eventually, Hannah brought him over. Jessica, Nathan, have you met Abby? Nathan smiled, shook my hand. Nice to finally meet you. Hannah talks about you all the time. She works at some courthouse, Hannah added sweetly. Admin stuff. Probably underqualified, but we all have to find our level. Nathan offered a tight smile. I'm sure Abby manages just fine. Dinner followed. I sat quietly at the far end while Hannah reveled in the spotlight. Toasts were made. Laughter echoed. Then Hannah raised her glass. Some people argue landmark cases, she beamed at Nathan. Others answer phones, like my sister Abby. And that was it. Nathan turned to me, puzzled. Wait, Abby Matthews? County courthouse. He stared. I met his eyes. I saw the realization dawn slow but undeniable. His face lost color. What do you do at the courthouse, Abby? I set my glass down. My heart pounded. Judge, I said. The word landed like a verdict. Silence. Frozen expressions. Fork Smitter. You're joking? Hannah laughed, but her voice faltered. She's not, Nathan said quietly. I've stood in her courtroom, Bradford Pharmaceuticals. That was your case. My parents stared at me like I'd transformed into someone they didn't recognize. The family's admin girl had just, she uttered the illusion. Hannah's face twisted. This is my engagement party, she snapped. And of course, Abby found a way to make it about her. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. The truth was out, and there was no taking it back. The moment Judge left my mouth, everything changed. My mother's fork clinked against her plate. My father reached for more wine. Hannah just stared. You're not serious, she whispered, eyes bouncing between me and Nathan. She's not serious. Nathan didn't answer. He kept looking at me like he was assembling 1,000 puzzle pieces. Judge Matthews, he said, Northern District Court, that was you. You're a judge? 3 years, I said calmly. My mother paled. But you said you were assisting a judge. I clerked. No one asked after that. The silence deepened. You could feel the weight of it shift the air. Then Hannah snapped. This is insane. She let us all think she was a secretary. Who does that? You're lying. I didn't flinch. I never lied. I just stopped correcting you. Hannah looked at Nathan, waiting for backup, but he didn't speak. He was still focused on me. Why didn't you ever say anything? He asked. Because no one ever asked, I answered softly. Because every time I tried to share, I was shut down. Jessica spoke from the far end of the table. I was at her swearing in. It was in every legal publication. Uncle Frank cleared his throat. Oh God, I told her last Christmas that honest admin work builds character. His face was flushed with embarrassment. My grandmother squeezed my hand. I always knew you were something special, dear. Hannah pushed her chair back with a loud screech, the metal scraping on stone. This is my engagement party, she yelled. And once again, Abby steals the spotlight. I stayed calm. I didn't say a word until you pushed me. Until You mocked me in front of everyone for the last time. Nathan stood. Hannah, she stepped away, tears in her eyes. You knew? You knew she was a judge and didn't tell me? I didn't know until now, he said. I never made the connection. Hannah looked around, scanning faces. The spotlight had shifted, and for once, it wasn't hers. This is unbelievable, she whispered. You've ruined everything? Then she turned and stormed inside, heels clicking like an exclamation mark. Nathan hesitated, gave me a long, searching look, then followed her. The rest of us sat in stunned silence. Champagne warm, dinner untouched. The lie was gone. So it was the illusion. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and over 30 texts. Most were from relatives, apologetic, shocked, curious. 3 were from my parents. None from Hannah Dot. I spent the day in a strange in-between, half relieved. Half Hala Dot around noon. There was a knock at the door. Nathan. He looked tired, unsure. She doesn't know I'm here, he said. May I? I let him in. Made coffee. He wandered my apartment, paused at the frame law degree on the wall. Kolya, he said. That's impressive. Hannah went to NYU. I replied automatically, old habits die hard. He turned to me. You were incredible in court, and last night, you showed a kind of restraint I didn't think possible. I didn't feel restrained. I felt like I finally let something go that I'd been holding for years. He nodded. She's hurting. But so am I. The way she talked to you, the way she needed to cut you down in front of everyone. You're rethinking the engagement, I said. I don't know, he admitted, but I can't unsee it. And I don't want to marry someone who needs to outshine her own sister to feel worthy. After he left, I sat alone. But for once, I didn't feel small. A few days later, Hannah showed up. No makeup, hair in a bun, eyes red. Can I come in? She asked Dot. We sat on the couch. Silence stretched like scar tissue. Why didn't you tell me? She asked. Would it have mattered? I replied. She didn't answer. Just whispered. I was supposed to be the successful one. You still can be, I said, but not by erasing me. She nodded. Nathan's thinking about postponing the wedding. I said nothing. I'm not here to blame you, she added. I think I lost myself in this version of me I created. It was the first honest thing she'd said to me in years. Before leaving, she looked at me. I'm proud of you, Abby. I always have been. Maybe that's what scared me the most. It wasn't a fix, but it was a start. 3 months later, we weren't best friends, but we were better. I stopped hiding. My parents started listening. Hannah began therapy and started being honest. I didn't need their validation anymore, but I got a Dot and 4. The first time, none of us were pretending. Have you ever dimmed your light to protect someone else's ego? Have you ever made yourself small just to keep the peace? If my story struck a chord, leave a comment and subscribe. Because you should never have to shrink yourself to make someone else feel comfortable.